I can't fucking believe this. Another movie, another podcast. How can the same shit happen to the same guys? I lost count by now. But I won't lose a single episode if you go to patreon.com/recesscastproductions. For less than the cost of a Glock 7, you can support our show. As bonus episodes, early access, and exclusive episodes just for you. It's a little Christmas miracle. In July. Again. That's patreon.com/recesscastproductions. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfuckers.
Hey, it's another Christmas song. Yay, another oft-returning, royalty-earning Christmas song. I've got plenty more, so go buy
You listen to this podcast, and I will have your baby. That's a promise. Welcome to the After Credits Cast, the only film podcast officially endorsed by the Iowa Film Critics Association. I am the official Commander-in-Chief of the association, AJ Waseska, and I'm joined by my regional correspondent, Ryan Metters.
Hey, don't threaten me with a good time. Please have my baby. I mean, hi, y'all. Good evening.
And if you wish to challenge me for the title of the champion and the champion belt, which I will be making for this position, you will be able to find me on Facebook, Tumblr, or Twitter. Or Ryan, if they want to email me directly, where can they email me at?
They can email you at official declarations of critics wars at excuse me. That's evacstation@gmail.com.
There doesn't have to be a war. It can be peaceful, but I will bring it if it's brought. The intro song for this episode is
Another Christmas Song by Stephen Colbert.
Oh, excellent song. Very good.
Good
Mwah.
choice.
Yep, excellent. You can also follow us on the various platforms down below in case you don't know where to listen to. There's Patreon, of course, that's our number one pick. There's also YouTube, Acast, Apple and Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Podcast Addict. I like that one a lot. But so much more. Google us, you'll find us. We're out there. Somewhere. Easy to find, unlike some places.
Shots fired.
Ryan, are you ready for today's movie?
I am.
Well, in case you forgot, or the audience forgot, we're still doing a very strange celebration of 1990, the year we're both born. And what better way to go than Die Hard 2? Directed by Rennie Harlin and written by Stephen E. D'Souza and Doug Richardson, based on a novel called 58 Minutes by Walter Wagner.
Really?
We'll get there.
Really?
We'll get there. We'll get there. The film grossed a worldwide total of $240 million worldwide, which is just over 3 times what it cost.
I mean, those planes are expensive, my guy.
Yep. And of course, the cast is by no means cheap either. We have Shelley McCarthy, Tom Bauer, former presidential candidate Fred Thompson, Art Evans, Dennis Franz, John Amos, William Sadler, Franco Nero, Reginald VelJohnson, William Arthurton, Bonnie Bedelia, and of course, the star of the attraction, Bruce Willis.
Good old Bruce Willis.
Mm-hmm. You know, I keep forgetting Fred Thompson was actually an actor before he became a presidential candidate. This movie won 1 award for a BMI Film Music Award to Michael Kamen. Or Kamen? Like Kamen Rider? Yeah.
I'll give you that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. Ryan, I'll turn it over to you for some fun facts.
All right. Well, according to Rennie Harlin in the DVD commentary, the shooting was originally going to take place in Washington State around wintertime. But when the crew got there, it was uncharacteristically warm, about the mid-50s. This prompted the crew to travel throughout the Northwest and back in search of snow, which seemed to melt whenever they arrived. Most of the time, the snow was either trucked in from Canada or made up of an assortment of look-alike snow. Paper flakes, potato flakes, marble, dust, rock, salt, Jesus Christ. However, when the crew landed in Colorado to film the snowmobile chase, they had to set up blankets of fake snow, then a massive blizzard with well below freezing temperatures, around 17 degrees, swept the state, and shooting had to be shut down. Harlan commented on how hellish the shoot was. Denver was unseasonally snowless during the shooting of the snowstorm scenes, and a fair amount of snow had to be created artificially.
Yeah, I could see it being stressful.
Yeah.
Um,
Sometimes real life just sticks with you.
I have to question, why didn't they just go to Canada to film instead of bring the snow to them?
Ship snow from Canada. That's amazing to me. I imagine location deals with Canada were more difficult to navigate than just having a bunch of trucks bring snow.
I find that hard to believe, but I'll have to believe you on it.
Yeah. Next up, Black & Decker actually paid to have its cordless drill featured in a scene with Bruce Willis. When the scene was cut, the company sued 20th Century Fox in the first ever product placement lawsuit for a film. The claim of $150,000 was settled out of court.
Is that an expense you really want to make? I mean, you could have saved yourself $150,000 and bought yourself like a hot tub and some jet skis. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean, they also could have just had Bruce Willis like hit one of those guys with the damn drill. Like, come on. Like, I'm thinking of the fight when the SWAT team just gets knocked out in the first one. Like, I'm sure that's where they would have had it. It was already under construction.
Well, it would have to be there, yeah, because of all the construction going on. That makes perfect sense.
Alas, the cutting room floor leaves no prisoners.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if they'd used like a sawzall or something, would they have been okay with that instead?
Yeah.
It saws all after all.
It does.
Yeah.
God in heaven. The final fun fact for the evening: the scenes with Bruce Willis running through the tunnels under the airport were actually filmed at a water treatment facility near Los Angeles. The facility has miles of underground tunnels and was also used in Live Free or Die Hard in 2007, doubling as the Woodlawn Social Security Administration building. I like that. That's actually a really cool fact.
Mm-hmm. Tune in when we find a reason to do that movie for a season, and we'll be covering that again.
Can we do Die Hard 3, please, first? Because I really want to do that one.
Oh, yeah. No, we'll go in order.
Gotta
obviously.
get Sam Jackson in here.
Ooh, okay, so we'll do a Sam Jackson season for to get that one in there. And then...
Yes!
Listen, my game is to make excuses to do these movies, but not actually do a Die Hard season.
Weird Christmas movies, Die Hard. 1990s movies, Die Hard 2. Sam Jackson season, Die Hard 3.
We'll get there, don't you worry.
We're working through it.
Initial thoughts. I think it's fun. I think it's missing the charm of the first movie, but overall it's still a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think my thoughts are similar. I feel like McClane is more of an asshole to people who don't really deserve it in this movie. But I mean, ultimately, yeah, like it's missing a bit of the charm from it. But still, yeah, a grand old time.
Well, with that in mind, here is a brief synopsis for you. John McClane is waiting at an airport in D.C. to pick up his wife, but just has the worst luck. His car gets towed by a crooked cop, the line for the bathroom is way too long, a terrorist attack happens, and somebody probably brought him a cold coffee to boot. Oh, yeah, the terrorist attack. Yeah, I guess that's a big deal. McClane has a shootout in the luggage area, and the local police don't want to hear it. They assume McClane just has a big head about the Nakatomi incident. Hey, continuity. But within minutes, John is proven right as terrorists shut down the runway and hack the control tower's computers to keep the planes in the air as their sort of aerial hostages. Colonel Stewart demands one plane be allowed to land, and no one is allowed to approach it. Said plane is carrying a criminal he is working with to keep him out of prison. Any attempts to stop them will be met with a 9/11 incident before 9/11 is even a thing.
Jesus Christ.
The team try to get another radio tower. Get to another radio tower in a new annex, but there is an ambush. McClane manages to save one guy who can help him. Because of this incident, Stewie crashes the British airliner to prove he's legit. Realizing they're short on options, the Army Special Forces team is called in to help. They manage to get a hold of the radios from Stewart's men and locate where they're operating from. More shooting happens. McClane discovers the ammo used in the shootout were blanks, and the Special Forces were working with Stewart the whole time. Meanwhile, on Holly's flight, some asshole she'd worked with is reporting all the information of this incident to the news while on their plane, and it's circling around the airport, potentially to go down at any time. He is electrocuted via stun gun and promptly left in the toilet. McClane manages to get on the plane. The terrorists are using to escape and jams up the engine for takeoff. Fighting happens. Using the line of fuel from the plane, McClane blows up the jet before it can take off. This fire allows the circling planes to see where the runway even is and make safe landings. The passengers are then rescued, and then McClane gets to spend the holidays with his wife once again.
That convoluted ass fuse of jet fuel that races into the sky. I'm not entirely sure how accurate that would have been.
Yeah, so I've got problems with this one. It's not so much that it's like bad, but they definitely tried to go more extreme, and I don't think it works.
Yeah, like it was hilarious, but there were parts of it that was just like, really, 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 guy. You mean to tell me a firefighter's jacket is not gonna just get cut up by the gears of a plane's flap? Come on, guy. Come on.
Yeah. At least throw a duck in there or something. Right, I didn't bring this up last time we did a Die Hard movie, but that's also been like over 2 years now?
I think.
So 2 years ago, I didn't bring this up. But did you know these films were originally based on books?
Absolutely fucking not. What?
So
you
yeah.
gotta tell me about this series. What the fuck?
So Die Hard book series. Here we go. Yeah, so the first book is called Nothing Lasts Forever. It even has a... Yeah, I'm going to send you the Amazon page. Hang on. I approve.
It feels like a 90s action title. It just feels like that nothing lasts forever. Like, okay, dog.
Yep. Let's see here. And they're not even written by the same person. Wait, maybe? No, they're not. They're written by two different people. There's only 2 books. Nothing Lasts Forever is which, parentheses, the book that inspired the movie Die Hard. And then 58 Minutes, which then is a parentheses basis for the film Die Hard 2.
I can't. I can't even with this. What?
I like that this breaks your mind almost as much as the fucking stuff we've already talked about today.
Well, no, because the thing is that it like so you'll see like you'll see like books capitalize on the success of their live action adaptations. You'll absolutely see this, but never will you see it actually in the title of the fucking book moving forward. Like, what?
Well, I think the difference, though, is, like, if you base a movie on Jurassic Park, obviously, same title, you don't need to do that. This, though, it seems like the books were, like, the ground floor, like the bones of it, but the movie added so much more meat to it that they changed the name and everything, and so they're like, well, we want to tell you that it's still connected, so here we go. Here it is. Don't forget us. Never forget.
Yes, but I mean, like, especially for 58 minutes, like basis for Die Hard 2 is, like, in bold, like, rather than, like, a sticker be like, hey, you'll know the movie adaptation Die Hard, like on the first one. The first one, the way the way the cover is formatted, it looks like that. It looks like the book stands on its own and someone put a sticker on it that said, hey, this is what Die Hard was based on. And that I understand. But the second one, come on, guy.
Now, I wonder if someone out there can tell me, because I have not read these books, are these books actually related to each other? Like, are they actually sequels to one another? Or, like, is it just 2 separate, completely different books that these movies are based on? Because how fascinating would it be to have a movie series, and I didn't see anything based for the 3rd or 4th or whatever, but wouldn't it be interesting to have a movie series where every movie in your series is based on a completely different, unrelated book, but somehow you made it all one collected series of a movie?
I'd be tickled. Please, if you guys know of it, let us know in the comments below. Please.
Because that'd actually be a very fascinating film project. I'd be down for that. Okay. how does this film carry over and grow John McClane as a character?
Lol, it doesn't. So, I mean, one of the things that I like about its predecessor more than this one is that John feels like he has an actual character aside from this. John actually feels like a character with his own issues because his wife is moved out here and he's trying to reconnect with his estranged wife, and it feels like this action movie just gets in the way of that thing that he's really trying to do. So it just feels like an everyman having to foil an international heist so that he can get some alone time with his wife. And I think that was a really big part of the charm of it, which was really cool. But this one, it's just all right, his wife is coming home. His wife is touching down, and there's no personal stakes for him aside from just saving his wife, which we've already done. You know what I mean?
That is sort of a problem. Is that so? A typical thing I've seen in sequels, and you could easily see this in the Marvel movies, but I think they've earned it a little bit, is that your first film is pretty personal. It's pretty straightforward to the main character and their struggles. But as soon as that film's over, the sequels have to amp it up more. Bigger stakes, bigger problems, bigger action, bigger explosions, etc., etc., etc. I think that's what this film is going for, and I think it's to a detriment. Because it basically is Die Hard 1, but bigger.
Yeah.
And that's I'm trying to think of the best example from the Marvel films, but it's kind of it's like Avengers and Avengers 2. I think Avengers 2 is like Avengers 1, but bigger, almost. I mean, obviously, it's a very bad example because there's a lot more to it than that, but just as a rough example. Avengers 2 does a lot of has bigger explosions, bigger army, bigger stakes, and everything, compared to 1. Whereas, this here, I think it's the same thing.
But I think that this one is less successful, though.
Yeah,
because
it's also not a $1 billion
tries,
franchise.
Yes, no, but I think that it tries to amp up the action and the craziness, but it doesn't feel as envelope pushing as crashing a helicopter into an actual skyscraper and having John McClane jump off of a building using the fire hose as a rappel and then having to bust back into the building. When I saw that action sequence, that was actually blowing my mind. Holy shit, how did they do this in the 80s? What the fuck? And I didn't really get that same feeling in this one.
So that's the thing I want to bring up too, is the action sequences. I don't think I even wrote a question for it, but you're kind of transitioning to it. And I like it. I don't think the action sequences are as good here. I feel like they are sort of just there, but there's not really a lot of thought put into them. And it's weird because they changed directors because the original director for Die Hard 1 wanted to go do Hunt for Red October, which, fair. I would want to do that too. This director came in and they are much more focused on action sequences, action movies, which is fine, but these don't feel very good. They feel either A, kind of generic, or B, very over the top and just kind of pull me out of the situation. There's no middle ground, there's no nuance, there's no suspension. It's just kind of big explosions and kind of boring shootouts.
Yeah, and whoever decided to introduce the Colonel by having him practice martial arts completely butt-ass naked just to sell us on the fact that he's a martial artist, I'm like, what are you smoking? What is this? This is entirely unnecessary.
I almost kind of liked it because it's funny, though.
It's hilarious, but it shouldn't be. It feels like it's a part of the movie that's supposed to be taken seriously, and you can't. And so it just ended up just taking me out of it. I was just like, wait, did I download the wrong movie here? What the fuck?
You're not wrong. It was definitely a jarring decision, all the same. And you're saying that Die Hard 3 is a better film, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I have not seen Die Hard 3 in at least 10 years. At least. And I still know it's better. I still immediately know it's better.
I have not seen it, so I'm taking your word on it. But it's weird that you would have such a huge dip in your second film. Usually it's the third film where things fall off, not the second film. Usually the second film is where you take everything that worked in the first film and just make it better. So it's very weird the dip happens in the middle.
But I think it's also interesting because, and we'll have to remember that I said this when we do Die Hard 3 in the Sam Jackson season. But it's possible that the dip in quality in the second one is the reason why they're able to course correct and make the third one really good. Maybe. I have that's going to be my rudimentary hypothesis on this action film thesis for Die Hard, the series.
Well, okay, so here we go. So Die Hard 1 was in 88. Die Hard 2 was in 90, so they had a 2-year turnaround. Die Hard 3 was 95. So they had a good chunk of time to work on that one.
Yeah.
Maybe the turnaround time was also not ideal.
It's possible. It's also possible that they might not have wanted to touch the franchise after Die Hard 2, and then like so it took a little while longer to get backers for it. Maybe, who knows?
Maybe. The third film also brings back the original director, which I think is also a good thing.
Yes, very much so.
And then he's out for the rest of the series. So this is a fascinating rabbit hole to dig down. I'm curious. I'm very curious.
Haha. See, I sometimes contribute like to the questions that we don't have.
No, but I like it. It's generally thought provoking. Like just the timeline and the unraveling of like where the action goes, how the action's formed, and why it's done the way it is. Like it's very interesting to talk about when it comes to film design for sure.
Yeah.
How does this film frame authority figures in this world, and do you feel they are portrayed fairly? Why or why not?
Fuck authority figures. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so this kind of gets into what I said in my my initial thoughts, and where I thought that John McClane was a bit of a dick to more people than he needed to be, but I also think it's interesting because when he first encounters these people, he tries to do it like good and nice and by the book. I'm thinking of the guy that's giving him a ticket, and he's like literally like pleading with him. He's like, "Hey, look, man, come on, like cop to cop. Like I just ran in here to check on when my wife's plane was coming in. It's Christmas. Come on, have a heart. It's not even my car. It's my mother-in-law's, and she's already mad that I'm not a dentist." I'm like, so like he's trying to actually do it like right and nice, and the guy like goes out of his way to be a dick to him.
Yep.
Just like, why? Like, what the fuck? So of course the rest of his interactions with the police are already like antagonistic because like he tried to do it good the first time and they just spat in his face. Same thing with the head cop, whatever the fuck his name, the guy from NYPD Blue. Right, like he shows up and he's trying to like ask him. He's like, "Hey, I mean, you're gonna fuck up the evidence and da 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 da." And the guy's just like, "Oh, this fucking hot shot comes in here and thinks he can just call shots over here." Blah 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 blah. So it makes sense that the rest of his interactions with the cops are antagonistic. So I feel like his interactions with authority figures kind of happen that way throughout the entire movie, because he tries to do it in a more collaborative way, and then he's rebuffed because everybody thinks that he thinks he knows everything. But he's like, no, seriously, like, if you do it this way, it's gonna be fucked up. And they're like, screw you, you can't tell us what to do. And then it gets screwed up, and they've got the fucking surprise Pikachu face on. And he's like, you're a moron, I told you this is about to happen. Yeah. I'm going on a tangent. I'm kind of rambling a bit. Talk to me, please.
It's so weird how many people kept turning him down. And I get it, he's not an authority in that area by any means. But he's lived through a situation like this, and he should just basically sign up for Interpol, because it's basically what he's doing at this point. Just imagine if he just put down his Interpol badge and be like, listen, I have the authority here. Fucking shut this shit down. That would be the way to do it. But he's not there yet. I don't think they ever take his character to that point, which would be interesting if they did. But that being said, these guys should at least be willing to listen to advice when it's given, and with all the lives on the line, I don't know why they are so hesitant to listen to the one guy who seems to have a head on his shoulders about it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And, like, it's funny because there are certain times in the movie where he does make, like, a demand, and I'm just like, John, why are you so aggro right now, dude? If you calm down, they actually might listen to you now that things are really, really amped up. Like, when the Special Forces guys come up, the first thing John says to him, like, all you brought is one platoon? It's like, who the fuck is this guy? What? I'm like, John, please, they literally just got here. Like, give them a chance to prove that they're dickheads before you start yelling at them and that they don't know how to do their job.
Yeah. Well, and to be fair, his patience is running thin. His wife's in danger again. And the other cops have just been fucking giving him nothing but friction the whole night. So, like, I can understand his frustration and why he would explode just on a whim, I don't agree with it, but I understand, like, why he's in such a hostile condition at that point.
Yeah.
Does this film feel like it grows or extends the original premise of the film? Let me reword it. Does this film feel like it grows or extends the premise of the original film? Why or why not?
Honestly, it doesn't feel like it grows it or extends it. It feels like it's just more of the same. And it gets to what I was talking about earlier, because it felt like there was an actual drive behind the character, and this action movie just happened to ruin his fucking night while he was trying to save his marriage. So, like, there was a compelling, like, action and arc to the characters, beyond just the crazy action pieces. This movie just felt like the crazy action pieces. Like, at the end of the day, his wife is in danger again, and he needs to rescue her so that they can have Christmas again. Like, that's it. So
Yep.
it just feels like more of the same, as opposed to, like, an expansion on the original premise of the Die Hard franchise.
I honestly think it would be less annoying if they didn't have it framed around Christmas. Like, I'm not saying it's bad to be a Christmas setting, but, like, why do it twice in a row? Why not just have it be, like, summer vacation or St. Patrick's Day, or just any other
I feel
day
like they learned their lesson on that with Die Hard 3.
Oh no, I understand that much, but, like, it just seems so weird you double down on that one. And I don't know if it's just the original director, or the new director's like, oh, I'm gonna fucking top their Christmas bullshit. It's like, no, dude, you're not gonna do it. Just move on. Just pick a different holiday and have fun with that instead. Plus, if you'd done summer vacation, guess what? You could have avoided all the snowstorm bullshit.
You wouldn't have had to import snow from Canada. That's a real sentence that I just said. Oh my god.
This is one of those nights. I love it.
This is pure driven Canadian snow. This shit goes for $80. Like, ooh, let me stop. FBI angels, I'm just playing. I'm talking about actual snow, not,
He's not talking about the dope.
Nose candy. I'm talking about actual snow, guys, please.
Sorry. He's not talking about El Dopa. He's just talking about snow.
God damn it. Shouts out to last week's episode.
Let's see. This film trades in the suspense of the first film for the more intense action of this film. Do you think this was a wise trade-off? Why or why not?
I really don't. I feel like the action moments in the original are so impactful, partially because the stakes feel higher. Like, at the end of the day, it is literally one dude against a group of terrorists, and you see John getting put through hell throughout the whole thing. Like, the idea of him walking across glass with his bare feet and having to then continue on the whole movie with that shit. Like, having the suspense paired with the action, it made the action pop more, because when the action happened, it was visceral, and it had more consequences on the rest of the movie. This one, not so much.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I would say that the problem is, and maybe it's a dynamic thing. So you could argue this movie has more suspense or bigger stakes because there's more people in danger, but the personal connection is less overt because it's a larger group of people. John doesn't know. He's only interested in the one, really. But more than that too, the villains feel kind of faceless for the most part, and I think I'm going to get to that here in a minute. But there's no real interaction between them and John beyond over the radio, and when they even meet, it's very brief and just I don't know. I'm just going to skip to it here real quick. What do you make of the bad guys in this movie, Ryan, and how they compare to Hans Gruber himself? Because I feel like Hans Gruber commanded more of the scene and just felt like a much bigger presence in the movie, and Stewart just feels like a dude with a small little militia who isn't really getting anything done.
Listen, man, you can't compare fucking naked kung fu grip G.I. Joe to the legendary Alan Rickman. First off, that's just asking to lose. But I think from a script perspective, Hans Gruber absolutely was better written, and the role was written to have more character and more personality, especially the fact that you also have Hans Gruber meet and interact with John McClane in the middle of the movie, and then have him lie and have him act like he's an American, and just have this interesting chess game with John McClane. That's so dope. That's just so damn cool. And you don't really get that with these guys here.
There is nothing in this film that even comes close to how masterful that scene is. Nothing. Nothing at all. And I know that's an unfair comparison, but that you gotta have your hero interact with the villain before the showdown. You do. And I don't mean over the radio. You have to have them meet at some point or another. And we didn't get that here, and I feel like that is kind of undermining. It undermines any attempt to make the battle between the two of them feel more personal. It just feels like just a routine interaction between the two. Whereas with Hans, there was something there. The two of them connected for a minute. And like you said, it was a strategic chess game. And Stewart just feels like he's just there shooting things versus actually playing the game, you know?
Right. I mean, they had that one brief interaction where it's the world needs more men that are willing to take the hard line against communist principles. Blah 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 blah. All right, let's get back and start shooting each other. It's come on. You gonna go from Gruber to this dude? Get out of here.
The problem I have is I've heard so much rhetoric about anti-communist stuff from right-wing Trump supporters. I'm just no one knows what communism is. Can we just stop using it as an argument for now and just focus on something else?
Nah, in the 90s, it was the Cold War was still kind of fresh on everybody's mind, so it made sense to be communism bad.
I know. It's just kind of I hear it enough as it is. I hear it way too much as it is. Speaking of the bad guys, what did you think of the plot twist where the special forces were also the bad guys? And do you remember your first viewing, and how did you react to it then?
I think it was possibly the smartest part of the movie. I also don't think that's saying much.
Damn. Shots fired.
Yeah, blank shots were fired, actually. I thought that was a cool twist. I did think that was a cool twist. It was the coolest thing that the movie did, especially with John having to put it together. Like, I think I saw this movie when I was very, very, very young, and I only saw it the one time. I may have only seen pieces of it, but the moment I saw them putting in, like, the color-coded, like, gun clips, I was just like, oh yeah, blanks. Damn, that's cool. And if you're catching that on your first watch through, it's an interesting thing. Like, all right, the special forces guys are using clips with blue stripes on them. That's weird. Considering they're wearing all white. I wonder why that is. And then the bad guys are also putting in clips that are blue. That's weird. What's going on? And then John shoots at somebody with one of their guns and nothing happens, and then he almost dies.
So, what's funny is, when the scene happened, when I saw them loading their guns with the different colored stripes on their ammo, I actually went to Google, because I'm thinking to myself, okay, I don't know guns very well. Maybe this is a thing. Or maybe there's a scene I missed because I wasn't paying attention. I don't know. But why do they have different colored guns, ammo? And literally the minute I bring the page up, we get to the scene where John shoots the fucking cop with the blanks. And I'm like, oh, okay, this all makes sense now. I could have just waited 5 more minutes and they would have explained it for me.
But yeah, like I said, I think that was the smartest thing that they did in the movie. It was not that amazing of a twist. It was not like super mind-blowing. It wasn't Hans Gruber faking an American accent to get more of a read on John McClane, but it was fun. And especially them having to, like, the Special Forces guys having to kill the one soldier in their group that wasn't with them and wasn't in on the plan, just like before anything happens. Like,
that was a cool way to reveal it too. That was a cool way to do it.
Yeah.
But like you said, it's a far cry from Hans Gruber just being like, "Well, howdy, y'all. how you doing over here?"
Just like Alan Rickman with the American accent. You're killing me, dog. You're killing me. What is this?
Too soon, man. Alan Rickman left us too soon. This is a sad night for actors who left us, by the way.
Yeah.
Final question. We asked this one in the previous Die Hard. That's what I remember. Is this a Christmas movie, Ryan? Yes or no, and why not?
I think its predecessor is a Christmas movie. I think this is not a Christmas movie.
Fair.
This is a movie that happens in the winter. It is not a Christmas movie. And I think the reason is because, again, going back to the original, there is like the driving force behind the characters, aside from the action thing, is a very Christmas-like story. It's about reconciling with family. It's about coming together and trying to figure out what's most important. It's about, like, reestablishing the connections and the relationships between the ones you love. I think, like, it's warped and it's twisted and it has a lot more explosions, but at the end of it, the core message is one that I can establish with Christmas. This, not so much, because there is really no core message. It's just an action movie that happens with snow on the ground. Mm-hmm. Canadian snow.
Not even real snow. Sometimes it's just potatoes.
Sometimes it's fucking marble dust? What the fuck?
No, I agree. I think this is a very, very bad attempt to recreate the magic of the first one. And it shows it's like when the kid copies homework from another kid in class, but you could tell it's like how obvious they're doing it because the first kid failed like half the questions. Like at least pick the right test, man. But no, in all seriousness though, it just kind of it's disappointing. Like I said earlier, if they picked any other day of the year, fucking St. Patrick's Day even, I would have been like, okay, fine, that's another event on another holiday. That'd be at least funny. But doing the same thing's like, okay, you're actively inviting the comparisons, and the comparison is not in your favor.
Yeah.
I don't have a whole lot else to say on this one. I was honestly hoping for more out of this. Like I said, I have not seen the Die Hard series as a whole. I've seen 1 or 2 films so far, now 3. And so far, this is kind of my least favorite one.
I think other big fans of the series would probably agree with you. I think this is the weakest of the bunch.
Well, I'm looking forward to 3 when Sam Jackson saves the day.
Yeah, Sam Jackson actively saves the fucking day.
So this is a part of the... sorry, we have to do the mail call, of course. If you want to email us or message us on Tumblr, Twitter, and Facebook, and tell us what your favorite Die Hard movie is, or why you think this one is better than what we're giving it credit for, or why it's worse than what we're giving it credit for, or if you want to openly challenge me for the title of the champion of the Iowa Film Critics Association, you can email us directly. Ryan, what can the email us at?
That email is practicing Taibo naked in my room. Excuse me. Sorry. That's evacstation@gmail.com.
Dude, if someone comes at me for the title of this organization with naked Taibo under their belt, I probably might have to concede, because I don't think I can fight that.
Yeah, that's weird. That's going to be awkward.
A little bit. This is the part of the episode now where we rank the episode, or critique the episode, sorry, from platinum to trash all the codes in between. Ryan, where would you rank this one? I've got a pretty good idea where I'm going to put it.
I think, honestly, this is a stone for me. I don't want to say it's an outright dumpster fire, because it wasn't. It wasn't.
It has moments. It's not offensive. It's just not good.
Right. It has the blueprint of a much better movie, but it just actively misses a lot of what made its predecessor really, really good. And so not only is it not as good as the predecessor, but since it's aping on the predecessor so hard, you can't help but think of how it could have been a better movie. Mm-hmm. And if there's one thing that I'm realizing really pisses me off about movies, it's seeing how the movie could have been great and realizing all the chances that they missed in their decision making. So a lot of a lack of potential, like the presence of missed potential really kind of grinds my gears. So I'll give this one a stone.
Mm-hmm. That's my thoughts on almost all the DCEU. I'm gonna agree. I was actually gonna say stone originally too. It's such a dip. Like, we originally ranked the first one as gold. Like, it's a solid gold.
The original is a solid gold.
And the dip this hard is just kind of, oof. Is this X-Men or what?
Bruh, please, no!
Yeah, so that's it for this movie. It's a shorter podcast, but hey, when you don't have a lot to talk about, not a lot of substance, you can tell why. Next week, according to my schedule, you guys will be going to Total Recall, which is a fun movie. You'll have fun with that one.
Yeah.
Also, tune in the week after for Space Jam: A New Legacy.
Oh my god.
And eventually, we will do another movie, Last Action Hero. I'm not sure if it's going to be an exclusive or a just add-on somewhere or what, but it's on the schedule somewhere. We'll figure it out.
I honestly cannot wait to hear what you think about Last Action Hero.
That should be interesting. It should be very interesting.
I am very excited to hear your take on that.
But that is all I have for this week. Ryan, is there anything else we should close out with?
No, I think just hurry up and finish this episode so you can get to the better episodes.
Absolutely. Thank you, and we'll see you after the credits.
Bye!
Chestnuts glisten on a silent night, sleigh bells kissing by candlelight. The tree is frozen, the winter's bright. Who'd have thought the wise man looked so white? Don't you wanna sing along?